And he's working hard. He's trying to improve every day. He's saying all the right things, trying to elevate his level of play. And remember, up until this past weekend, we did think there was a legitimate argument that he should have been higher on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel because he performed better against Carolina than Dillon Gabriel had performed in the preseason game against the Eagles. It's just that obviously he nosedived over this last week, and so the tenor of the conversation changed. He really hasn't done it. I mean, he hasn't gotten in any trouble. I mean, he hasn't been saying the wrong things. He hasn't been a less than a model citizen focused on, being the best that he can be. He hasn't done anything. So I think that when we look at it, he's going in there, he's working hard, he's trying to improve every day.
Plan to have, who will be the emergency quarterback in the game?
Shedeur. Yeah. Dillon Gabriel going to be like second quarter, he's out there because Flacco just needs a minute in the blue tent?
Yeah. That feels likely.
And if it's Shedeur Sanders and he starts balling,
then what?
Everything changes in a bat of an eye.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski recently made a bold claim that Shedeur Sanders will be given more chances no matter what new signings the Browns make. He's set to be the team's emergency option moving forward. But that statement sparked a whole new debate. If the Browns never planned on really using Bailey Zappe, then why did they even bring him in? Zappe clearly wasn't signed to be a starter. He was just added as insurance, a safety net in case things go wrong during the season. What this really shows is that Shedeur Sanders is once again sitting in position to jump up as QB1 the moment the Browns need him. The Browns' decision to bring in Bailey Zappe looks more like a move to stack up depth in the quarterback room rather than actually searching for a new starter or QB1. On the surface, it feels like a precaution to avoid the risk of losing key quarterbacks. By signing Zappe, Cleveland is keeping its options wide open without fully committing to anyone new. But this move isn't just about covering for injuries or setbacks. It raises questions about whether the Browns really trust Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel to carry the load for the season.
I like the fact that they have him there. I think he'll be good in practice. He'll be good for some of those younger guys in helping them to prepare for a game and whatnot. And he's just also a really good guy.
The Browns brought Bailey Zappe in mainly to help support their young quarterbacks this season. According to Mary Kay Cabot, Zappe's role will be preparing the quarterbacks for upcoming games and stepping in if injuries happen. Cabot also noted that Zappe could turn out to be a valuable piece for the team. But this move also hints that Dillon Gabriel could be on the trade block. Reports say Gabriel is already drawing interest from multiple NFL teams, especially after Kenny Pickett's recent trade. With Gabriel suddenly in the spotlight, speculation is growing that Shedeur Sanders may be just a few games away from sliding into the QB2 role in the NFL, potentially opening up a huge opportunity for him. Stephen A. Smith also jumped into the debate, stressing Shedeur Sanders' steady rise and the momentum he's carrying. He pointed out that even before the latest preseason game, it was obvious Sanders had already passed Dillon Gabriel on the depth chart. Smith noted that outside of a minor setback last week, Sanders has stayed unbeaten, built strong chemistry with his teammates, and is now locked in on sharpening his game. According to Stephen A., the Browns clearly see Sanders' massive potential, and whether they admit it publicly or not, they're banking on him to grow into a more dominant and impactful player moving forward.
He really hasn't done it. I mean, he hasn't gotten in any trouble. I mean, he hasn't been saying the wrong things. He hasn't been a less than a model citizen focused on, being the best that he can be. He hasn't done anything. So I think that when we look at it, he's going in there, he's working hard, he's trying to improve every day.
Stephen A. Smith further underlined Shedeur Sanders' steady rise, pointing to the big momentum he's built. He said that even before the most recent preseason game, it was already obvious Sanders had jumped ahead of Dillon Gabriel on the depth chart. Smith explained that outside of a small setback last week, Sanders has stayed undefeated, built strong chemistry with his teammates, and is now fully locked in on refining his skills. Stephen A. believes the Browns know exactly how huge Sanders' potential is, and they're depending on him to keep developing into a more dominant and influential force as the season goes on.
He's going in there, he's working hard, he's trying to improve every day. He's saying all the right things, trying to elevate his level of play. And remember, up until this past weekend, we did think there was a legitimate argument that he should have been higher on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel because he performed better against Carolina than Dillon Gabriel had performed in the preseason game against the Eagles. It's just that obviously he nosedived over this last week, and so the tenor of the conversation changed.
Stephen A. Smith's take lines up with Coach Kevin Stefanski's changing stance on Shedeur Sanders. Recently, Stefanski doubled down on his commitment to developing Sanders despite outside criticism. This shift is huge, especially since not long ago Stefanski was brushing off concerns and even throwing harsh critiques at Sanders. But after the Kenny Pickett trade, the coach's attitude flipped, putting Sanders back in the spotlight and giving him a real chance to prove himself. The timing of this change is key, showing that Sanders finally has a genuine shot to display his full potential.
Concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
Other analysts have weighed in on Shedeur Sanders' chances of locking down the QB2 spot, with many pointing to Dillon Gabriel's size as a serious obstacle for him to keep that role long-term. Mike Tannenbaum praised Gabriel's strong preseason, giving him credit for his skill and composure. But Tannenbaum also warned that Gabriel's height could turn into a major weakness in the NFL, making a trade more likely. While talent and technique matter, physical limitations like size can't be ignored, and that could end up costing Gabriel the QB2 job and push him out of Cleveland. Nick Wright also weighed in on Dillon Gabriel, admitting the young quarterback's talent and potential are real. But he didn't hold back on pointing out the big concern, Gabriel's size. Wright explained that while Gabriel can't do anything to change this physical limitation, it's still a serious roadblock in his path to becoming a steady NFL starter. Even though he's shown flashes of ability, his physical frame could hold him back long-term. When stacked up against Shedeur Sanders, who has the natural tools and greater upside, the gap becomes clear, highlighting just how tough the road ahead will be for Gabriel.
Gabriel, who, through no fault of his own, commits one of my cardinal sins of quarterbacking, which is he's tiny. And so, he's tiny.
The Browns quarterback drama is only getting bigger, and Shedeur Sanders is right in the middle of it. With trade talks, roster shifts, and rising fan pressure, every move Cleveland makes will spark new controversy. Will the Browns finally give Sanders the shot he deserves, or keep playing games with their QB room? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking updates.